This is Oilersnation Radio, your one-stop shop for everything Oilers. 1 hour of straight hockey talk with Baggedmilk, Tyler, Liam, Rick, and Dan starts now.
Oilersnation Radio, Friday episode. Just the three of us. And Tristan.
Hello.
Tristan's here too. He's on the board. Liam is here. Dan is here. Tyler is off he's going to be doing Daily Face-Offs post-game show for Team Canada. Mm-hmm. Rick has a real job and he has things to do. So the three of us.
And probably still watching the game.
Oh, he's definitely watching the game. In fact, I can probably picture exactly where he's standing watching the game. Both hands on hips, superhero dad pose.
Does he wear a Canada jersey for these?
I would imagine so.
Like his jersey collection is filled with ghosts and just generally impressive things that he spent money on. You know? Anyway.
Ghosts, like former players?
That's the thing. Like, if Rick buys a jersey...
Oh, that's right. I forgot about this bit.
They leave.
If Rick buys a jersey, you know that player is not going to be in the weather very much longer.
That's Brandon Davidson, R.I.P.
Brandon Davidson, Vinny Desharnais, Kaylor Yamamoto.
Right.
I could go on. Those are just off the top of my head. Klim, of course.
That Davidson jersey's on the wall at a local establishment.
At least that one signed. Our boy Brandon Davidson. Go back and listen to the old real-life interview with him. It was great.
He was on a show.
Brandon Davidson was with me, Jay, Wanye, and Chalmers.
Oh, cool.
And then Rick sat off on the side chuckling to himself. He was in the cuck chair for that one. But he did organize the whole thing, so why wouldn't we have him there? Anyway, gentlemen, I just want to let you know, full disclosure, full candor, I prepped nothing today.
Yes.
And if you are listening to this right now, know that we are watching Team Canada Switzerland behind us. So if we get distracted mid-podcast, something happened. We'll talk about it.
Liam actually has me in split screen right now. I'm watching on his laptop via CBC Gem.
So what did you think that we should talk about today? Like, I've got a delicious debate. We'll do the normal thing. But, like, when it comes to this is Oilersnation Radio, what are you really going to talk about?
Let's talk about baseball odds.
Yeah.
We could do that again.
Divisional baseball odds?
Yeah, well, probably not much with the actual Oilers. Like, there's only really the winter games to talk about. Mm-hmm. So, talk about, like, what's been going on, I guess. The worst team is not the worst team. And the best team is clearly still the best team, but the third best team is obviously not the third best team.
Well, let's talk about it. First, we'll get
scathing assessment of Team Italy.
Yeah. We'll get the regularly scheduled programming out of the way. I got a delicious debate for our friends at Oodle Noodle. Oodle Noodle is proud to support Sports Central. 10% of in-store sales from the ginger beef all through February go directly to Sports Central. Let's help get more kids out there playing sports. Again, I said this last week. I said it on Real Life. I said it on BLTN. If you haven't had a chance and you're in the city, go check out Sports Central. It's a cool place to see how they refurbish the equipment. They'll give you a tour. They're very proud of what they do, and they should be because they get more kids out in the community playing sports. Oodle Noodle, the ginger beef. And as Liam learned a couple of weeks ago, founded in Calgary.
Never knew that. Calgary, weirdly getting some good like food stuff out of there.
It's weird. You wouldn't expect it.
No.
Ginger beef. All right, fellas, delicious debate for you today. It's an easy one, I think, because, again, there's not a whole lot of Oilers stuff to talk about. But yesterday, I think it was yesterday,
yeah,
Calvin Pickard's agent, Rich Winter, was on 1440 talking about the situation with the goaltending. And I've got the quote, but to paraphrase the idea, he's suggesting there's not much of a difference between Pickard, Jari, and Ingram, that he should have been the one that hit waivers. Would you agree?
That Ingram should have been the one?
That's more or less the point of what he's getting at.
Yeah.
So the quote is, and this was on the Jason Gregor show, Soft J, I believe, that's Jason Gregor. Mm. The situation has been unusual because in the conversations I've had with Stan Bowman, he's not sure Calvin's not number one. Not sure I buy that. Right now, the coach has got his favorite lemonade and strawberry. He's got his favorite flavors, lemonade and strawberry, and is sure not in on grape.
Wow.
Nice analogy there.
What the?
Who is it on grape?
I didn't hear this whole quote until just now.
Okay.
A nice grape soda's delicious.
What did he say? Lemonade, strawberry?
He's got his favorite flavors, lemonade and strawberry, and is sure not in on grape.
What is
strawberry? I don't know. I would have said orange.
Who do you think is strawberry and who's lemonade? Like Jari and...
Lemonade is definitely Jari. Strawberry is Ingram for sure.
What? Where is he eating the flavor lemonade and strawberry?
Yeah, like strawberry lemonade is one flavor.
You don't just have many strawberry drinks?
And then why did...
Only daiquiris.
And then why did he name Calvin the grape flavor?
Yeah, that's not good on him. Anyway, rest of the quote.
Not a great analogy to start.
I'm not going to have grape disrespected on this podcast.
But just for the mix of the two, like what? It's like, yeah. Anyways,
Rest of the quote.
Jeez,
We're getting hung up on some.
sorry.
All right. There's not a lot of difference between them, he continued. The statistics are very similar. It didn't make sense to me when you could have sent Ingram down. Now they've got Calvin through waivers. We've heard it for 2 years. Every time Calvin's in the net, everyone says the team plays better because they love him, because they want him to succeed. He's a glue guy in the room. Draisaitl posted on his Instagram within seconds of Calvin clearing waivers, maybe the best teammate they've all had. You can't deny the value of that when you're down a couple of games in the playoffs. End quote.
I don't necessarily agree with, a lot of what the agent just said there, but specifically the thing about
The grape juice.
Yeah, let's go back to that. No, is this comment that every time he's in the net, people feel like the team plays better in front of him.
I do not feel that way.
Do you feel like the team plays better in front of him because they have to?
I just,
Is that not the perception?
I mean, probably a little bit. I mean, obviously, Pickard's record speaks for itself. Before this season began, he was obviously really good in the playoffs for the Oilers last season. He found ways to win, where in the playoffs, that's all that matters. Mm-hmm. But I just think the writing was on the wall, and his bed was already made before Tristan Jarry got hurt. The day Skinner was traded, basically felt like it was the end for obviously both goalies, and Pickard was still on the roster, but I don't know. I think statistically, sure, maybe they were a little bit closer than we remember. I pulled it up here. During that time when Jerry was injured, so Pickard obviously came in the Boston game, played well. He shut him out the rest of the way. Mm-hmm. From December 19th, which was not included in the Boston game, to January 12th, which was the day before Jerry came out, Ingram played 7 games, 4 wins, had a .904 and a .270 save percentage. He made 178 saves. Pickard in 4 games had 2 wins and a .902 save percentage with a 3.07 goals against average and 110 saves. But I think when you go back and look at Jarry during that period, it was the only bad game he had was the Bruins game on New Year's Eve, and it really sunk his numbers big time. 903 Vegas, 947 Calgary, 906 Calgary, 927 Nashville, 900 against LA, and then the last one would have been 967 against Chicago, and then 944 against the Islanders in the game they lost 1-0, and then a shutout against St. Louis. I guess that would have been after. But I think Ingram earned the job that he ended up getting.
I agree.
Well, and I think in previous years when Skinner has faltered, the demand has been that Pickard will play better, and he has. He was incapable of that this year. The team knows that they're within their competitive bubble right now, and you couldn't allow a goaltender controversy or goaltender issues at both positions to sink you.
Yeah.
They had to make a decision. They had to make a move. I think all 5 of us on this podcast sat here and said that the Tristan Jarry deal wasn't good at the time that it was made, but it was made because Skinner and Pickard didn't give us good enough options for goaltending.
So during that 9, I think he had whatever that stretch was for Calvin Pickard in the playoffs, how many of those games that he started do you think he had a 900 save percentage or better?
Because that was 8 in a row, right?
Yes. So it was against LA from game 3 to I think game 3 actually.
He got hurt against Vegas.
Yeah. I think it was game 3. It was it was game 2 he got injured, so yeah.
I feel like you're being tricky.
And I'm also not a huge save percentage guy, but I know a lot of people are, so what do you think it was?
I'm studying your face. I'm going to go 4 of 8.
4?
50%.
What do you think?
I would assume 6 of 8.
1.
Oh, that's the
2.
other way.
He had 2. He had a 927 against the Kings in what would have been game 4. Yep, he allowed 3 goals and 927. And then he had a 955 against the Kings. He allowed 1 goal in whatever game that would have been. Game 6 or 5, I think. So it was 857, 927, 955, 852, 882, 875. And that was his low run. Like, he just won games, which is all you need to do in the playoffs. I'm not discrediting now, but like, we sometimes make it seem as a fan base as if this guy was a brick wall. No, he had a couple of good games, and the rest of them he played good enough to help the others win. And that is what we've always argued, that's all the Oilers need. A goalie that can help them win some hockey games. Mm-hmm. And I think him and Skinner have both been able to do that over a couple of years, but I just think in general the Oilers needed 2 new goalies, and they got it.
I don't think Calvin Pickard was treated poorly.
I don't think so
As
either.
you know, I am a save percentage person.
Yes.
I do like to couple a save percentage with the goals against, though. I think that matters. Mm-hmm. Objectively, the numbers aren't good enough.
871 this season in 16 games with 3.68 goals against average.
It's not good enough.
No, it's not.
And as much as I love our pal Cal and what he did in the playoffs 2 years in a row, pro sports is cold. Mm-hmm. And the Edmonton Oilers are an organization with a lot of pressure on them, a lot of hopes of bigger and better finishes. Let me think about it this way. The Seahawks just won the Super Bowl with Sam Darnold as their quarterback. They didn't feel like he did a good enough job in Minnesota. They go with J.J. McCarthy. Objectively worse. And now, if you read rumors, they're looking for a quarterback. Mm-hmm. When it's a position that important, the numbers matter. And I don't think they were good enough. Like Dan said, I don't know that I necessarily like the trade that has to send Kulak plus a pick out to get Jari because they're very equal. Didn't like it. That's what happened. But as a tandem, this is the question I got asked on Low Tide yesterday. How do you compare, because we were talking about this quote from the agent, how do you compare the goaltending? So if I look at every individual as apples, Jari, Skinner, basically the same to me. Mostly a wash.
This is exactly what I was thinking.
Underneath, if you compare Connor Ingram to Calvin Pickard, it is not the same thing.
It's actually not that close.
Not really at all.
No.
One guy has a whole lot more apples on the table.
Mm-hmm. And maybe it is just based off style and with the eye test in the sense of like, when you watch Pickard, we always say he's a road hockey goalie. You don't really know what kind of save you're going to get next. Mm-hmm. Where with Ingram, he plays a more predictable, traditional NHL goalie style.
Very calm.
Where he's big in the net, he's calm, and like you kind of know where he's going to end up. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's why it just looks a little bit better. But all I remember from that little stretch when Jari was out and it was between Ingram and Pickard, that Pickard lost his job. Mm-hmm. Because Ingram was more consistent and essentially had one bad game when the whole team crapped their pants against the Bruins on what should have been Nuge's 1,000th game. And
he has 5 years of age less than Pickard. For this franchise, again, really? Like I think that you're...
Is that true?
Yeah, he's 28. Ingram's 28. Pickard's 33, right?
Yes. Huh. Wow, younger than me.
Balder than me, though. So I just think that that's like part of the conversation too. And again, here we are, we're talking about love Pickard. I've gone on other shows and talked about how much I think he's like the quintessential backup for a team. But like this team is looking for a starter and a starter that they can trust. And Pickard wasn't it, hasn't been it in any of the situations where even he's had great flourishes. He's had to be replaced by another goaltender. So I don't know, like it's just the credit to the agent for doing what an agent is supposed to do. But like, totally. When is the last time an agent has spoken in the public and we've been like, he's right.
Yeah, never.
Like, honestly, like, frankly, if his agent is not doing this stuff, he's not doing his job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many agents have the platform? That his name is Rich Winter.
Rich Winter. Yeah, he's on Gregor.
Like he's on Gregor all the time and all that kind of stuff. But like, I don't know. If I was, he did say like he'll be back here in the playoffs. Like he's clearly just going to be a black ace.
Yep.
But I think Rich Winter is making Pickard seem like he was a lot more than he was this season alone.
I also think when you're an agent and you're jumping on the Jason Gregor show in Edmonton, when you say the Kool-Aid thing, or the lemonade, strawberry, whatever,
separating flavors,
you know it's going to draw attention.
Yep.
You know exactly what you're doing.
Yep.
You know.
I wonder how Pickard feels about it. Like, he must really feel like he's been wrongly done by.
He must.
Which is a little bit crazy. in the sense of like, you kind of should have seen this coming when they tried to send you down on the road trip.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, like, he had those quotes from Spectre the other day, and we never heard the full interview of it. It was just quotes. So maybe the tone was a little bit different than we suspect, and that's fine, whatever. But, like, it's just based on you. Mm-hmm. Like, Alec Regula hasn't been good enough this season. He is the 7th defenseman, and many people might have forgot he's on the roster. Mm-hmm. There's just other guys who you playing in the NHL isn't a right; it's a privilege, and you have to earn it to play on the team. And
earned is not given, as you say.
Earned, not given. And with all that said, the goaltending in Ingram and Jarry has been flaky the last little bit, but also the team is stunk in front of them.
Awful.
Yeah,
terrible.
And I think that says everything about it.
I said this on a bunch of places too. Like, we've talked about Dominic Hasek from the 90s when he went on those ridiculous runs where he had 930 seasons. That guy is not bailing the Oilers out if they play that poorly.
No, not at all.
It really
they give
isn't.
too many chances, and they need to figure that out.
Like,
and
those games, we're not going to redo it because it's now over a week ago, but like those games against Toronto and Calgary specifically were atrocious to watch.
Terrible.
Awful. If you're listening to this, I want to hear from you. Reach out to us. Did Calvin Pickard's agent, is he right? Is he wrong? Is he grape? I'm going to turn it over to our intern/producer, Sergeant Battle. Just final word. Thoughts on Pickard. We'll get you in on the show today.
I think Pickard should have seen this coming like 2 years ago. And the fact that he extended his career up to this point, like he was on waivers and his career was almost over. Mm-hmm. He comes here and he does great. And we love Pickard for that. He exceeded all expectations I ever had for him when I heard that we signed him. Or picked him up off. I don't even remember how we got him.
He was a free agent signing.
He was a free agent signing. He was supposed to be in Bakersfield, right?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, Jack Campbell's still supposed to be here.
Yeah, and again, everyone who's mad at the whole situation, we're mad at Jack Campbell. So I don't know. I don't think his agent's entirely wrong, but like the eye test specifically to me tells me he is the guy who does not deserve to be here right now. That's all I got.
Sergeant Battle.
Good enough.
Bangs the gavel on the conversation. We're done. I want to tell you about the last couple of experience spots on the Nation Vacation, March 24th to the 27th. We're going to be down in Vegas. So if you're going to be down there with us and you want to join us for the game day experience and the viewing party, a couple of spots left. If you want the game experience, let me sell you. Your drinks and your food are covered. That's going to be a big chunk of your day just in general. A beer is $25. I'll tell you the story again. Me, Rick, and Jay, last year when we went, we were taking turns buying rounds. It was Jay's turn at the arena, 3 drinks, $75 US.
Crazy. That is highway robbery.
I got a spiced rum. You would think I got like a gold leaf
flakes
something.
Yeah.
Anyway, nationgear.ca if you want to join us. I just want to talk about the Olympics. Canada kicked off yesterday. Bright and early. You guys were down at Greta doing the live stream. Mm-hmm. They are at Greta today doing another live stream, The Sauce.
Yes, I think they did their stream. Are they doing a watch along there too?
I don't know what's going on. I've
They're
been lost.
They're there.
They're there.
Yeah.
You're lost in the sauce.
I just want to ask you guys, the first game of the tournament for Canada, obviously it was a big win. Boys came through as the game rolled along. First period, a little bit nervous, maybe some nerves. But just kind of what do you think about the day one, and then we'll talk about today against Switzerland as it's going on behind us.
I think just for Canada, I thought Switzerland, Czechia played well in the first and was like fairly evenly matched, and then Celebrini scored, and then I think it was just Canada's game to really lose at that point. Binnington played well. I thought the forward group was pretty solid for Canada, all 13 of them. The blue line was underwhelming. They looked to be a little bit better today against Switzerland.
Don't you dare say that.
What?
I said yesterday after the Canada messed up their first power play that it needed more Evan Bouchard. Casual throwaway joke. The amazing thing about cheering for Team Canada, which is obviously a collection of players from across the NHL, you see how many people don't watch the Oilers they only read Evan Bouchard headlines. You know what I mean? Because my mentions were full of people shitting on my idea yesterday.
Well, I never said Bouchard's name. I just think they should get puck-moving defensemen with high offensive capabilities on this team.
I wonder who
whether that be Schaefer, Chikrin, or this Evan Bouchard you're talking about so strongly.
That fella.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, they won the game, and they won it in dominant fashion, 5-0. Really good assist from Mitch Marner.
Unreal.
That was really cool. And he had a bit of a Bobby Orr moment where he jumped over the defenseman. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, the internet caught that one.
Yeah, so, I thought it was solid.
By the way, I feel like I had a banger joke that just started to get appreciated as the day went on. I went, this March Marner guy looks real good with a maple leaf on his chest. And the people who got it, like from Oilers Nation, they got it. A lot of Golden Knights fans didn't realize I was making fun of the Maple Leafs. So they were a lot of Golden Knights fans being like, "Oh, he looks better with gold on his chest." I was like, "You guys missed the joke." Real bad.
You guys know, you signed him from the Toronto Maple
You
Leafs.
should have been like,
there now.
you should have been like, well, we'll see after the 23rd. Gold on the chest.
To me, when I woke up yesterday and I'm making coffee and I was watching the stream, I had you guys on and you were chatting. I was just happy to see NHLers back. First time since 2014 that we've had NHLers at the tournament, and I just best on best. Now we still need Russia in here somewhere if it's a true best on best. In my opinion, I get it, but I was just happy to see NHLers back.
Yeah, I thought it was set up to be a trap game in my mind, and I think you've seen it from across the group play there. That for all these NHLers, like there's going to be a learning curve to playing with these guys, even though like watching that power play of McKinnon, McDavid, and Crosby is just a special thing as we head to the penalty kill ourselves at this very moment. But yeah, I felt like that was the opportunity. That was the first game is always going to be that opportunity for the underdog team to kind of catch.
Well, Marner just took one of the pills, I think.
Catch a team sleeping.
Yeah, he just took that in the pills. You can tell he's not happy about that.
He'd look good with a maple leaf on his nuts.
He's probably got cartoon stars around there right now.
Yeah, I think that Czechia team is underwhelming.
I just the
they should be better.
Tomasic
right?
didn't blow you away?
I forgot he was playing.
I kind of forgot he was there too.
Yeah.
He got
And they
mentioned in the second period.
They said his name, and I'm like, oh yeah.
He played for the Edmonton Oilers this year.
But
for a
again,
moment.
to your point, Dan, I thought like there was that moment when it was Sid, Connor, Nate, all on that one play. As I'm watching it, I kind of started chuckling to myself because like, what are you supposed to do with that?
Yeah, and then you have McCaw leading the point.
It's like, what do you do with that?
Like McKinnon labeled it as the two greatest forwards to ever play. I think he said in McDavid and Crosby, and then the greatest defenseman to ever play in Cale McCaw. Which debate what you want, I don't really care. But like, it was like it's true. Like they're on the conversation no matter what you think.
It's got shades of Mario Gretzky and coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Like
right.
it's cool, and
that doesn't even mention Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah,
in
and
that.
Sam Reinhart was also on there. The guy who scored back-to-back Stanley Cup final game winners. Like an incredible player in his own right, playing on the fourth line for Canada, which is funny.
That's what there was somebody I saw it on Twitter that Canada got a depth goal yesterday, and I started chuckling because I'm like,
right.
I guess by letter of the law, depth goal, but we're talking about Hall of Famers everywhere.
Yeah, like Bo Horvat scored a goal for Canada yesterday.
At an high school.
Yeah, and he averages like 30 a year. In
Yeah,
the NHL.
You got Sid as your 3C. Like you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching the games. I haven't watched a ton. I chose to watch Germany-Denmark on the big screen over USA-Latvia yesterday. But even Latvia like gave the US a decent...
They gave them all they could handle.
Yeah, and I know the US had some goals disallowed, whatever. It was still a close-ish game for a while, and they really gave it to them.
How did, if you watched Dreisaitl's Germany team play, how did he do it? He scored like immediately.
Yeah, he scored, I think it was 23 seconds in. They were good. It was a bit more back and forth than I expected from the Danes. They only really, what do they have? Bjorkstrand's on the
Patrick
team. Patrick Russell. Lars Eller rolled back the years.
Okay.
And Nick Ehlers. And they also have Jensen on, I think his name's Nick Jensen, but not the one that plays for Washington, but he used to play for Vancouver, or was a pick for Vancouver or something. And then obviously Freddie Anderson was in goal.
Is Meyer a Swiss?
Timo Meyer? Yeah, he plays on Switzerland.
Okay, sorry.
So yeah, I thought it was an entertaining game. The Germans deserve to win it. They have their power play outside of the U.S. and Canada is probably right up there.
I mean, if you think of the players, because I would imagine...
Goal!
Who do we got? Macklin Celebrini.
MC Shark.
I'm telling you, Liam, MC Shark's going to catch on.
It might have been
David. And
damn, is that McKinnon? Oh, that's
McKinnon.
good. I just hit my bet.
We'll talk about it because I'm curious what you guys have been doing. Just to catch you up, because we are watching the Canada-Swiss game behind us. Connor opened the scoring. His celebration was amazing.
They changed the lines.
No.
They might have. If Celebrini...
That was just after a power play, I think.
McKinnon was out there too.
Was it? Interesting. I don't know. We'll find
Macklin
out.
Celebrini's got a hell of a shot. Like, the Sharks have such a stud in that kid.
They're pulling Chris
so
Knobloch.
There was a debate on the show today too. Someone put in there because I said as we were talking about Crosby and how he realistically should be going for what would be potentially his 5th gold at an Olympics.
Yep.
He said he's going for his 3rd, which is still great. And Tyler said he's like, Connor McDavid should be hitting his 3rd Olympics. And someone commented like, we don't know he would have made it in his first year.
Yes.
It's like, well, he did win the Hart Trophy. But besides that point, Macklin Celebrini made the team this season. And he, to his credit, obviously playing incredible, but has no accolades. No.
Yeah.
But he just deserves to be there. McDavid would have been on this team. Matt Duchene was on the 2014 Olympic team.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Crazy.
And the reality is, when you nitpick the Canadian, I know we talked about Evan Bouchard and Zach Hyman a ton.
Yeah.
The reality is, if Canada wanted, or if they were allowed, I guess I should say, they could put 2 teams in this tournament and both of them would be very good.
At the U17 level, they play 3 teams, and they usually finish 1, 2, and 3 at the U17 Worlds. There's a lot of talent here, but it's true what they say. Canada has to win gold to fix the minor hockey system.
Of course. Especially these NHLers, that's on them to do.
Yes. It's from top to bottom. It's not just on the U18s.
It's a program of excellence. We breed lions.
It really is. That's what we're about is excellence.
Yes. POE.
If the NHLers can win a gold, then the kids can win a gold.
And if they can't, then they can't.
Yeah. What are we going to do?
Tear it all down.
Like the hilarious part about the World Junior thing, because we're obviously joking about, is like Macklin Celebrini is playing at the Olympics right now. Could have been in that tournament.
And Schaefer should have been in the conversation. Was in the conversation and didn't go because he was playing in the NHL.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, where all these other teams get to take everybody. Like, such an interesting conversation every year.
I want to touch on something you said before we started recording about the 3rd place team that you think is kind of up for grabs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if we're going to assume that Canada, USA is going to finish 1-2, go Canada for gold.
Yeah.
I'm just curious your angle on team 3.
Well, Sweden seems like a bit of a dumpster fire in a way.
Frauds.
Yeah, well, their coach is just being a moron.
What happened? I haven't paid attention to Sweden at all.
So they played Italy the other day, obviously.
Yeah.
And barely got by. That was based a lot on finishing, like they're just not finishing anything.
Yeah.
But Forsberg in that game had 1 shift, played like a minute 13, maybe even less. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson was the 7th defenseman and didn't touch the ice. Literally did not have a shift. But Pontus Holmberg had like 15 minutes or something stupid like that. And then there was also today, they lost to Finland. Yes. And again, like they barely played Forsberg and Ekman-Larsson. And then that also goes into the whole Ekholm thing, where he is obviously not at the Winter Games because he has a bit of a feud with this Olympic coach. And it goes back to the 4 Nations. And it just seems like this guy is a bit of an ego. And I was reading some stuff online from some Swedish fans and reporters, whoever they were, and a lot of them were like, what is this guy doing? Like, he clearly is just going about this wrong. And I just think the fact that, like, Sweden's roster is equivalent to the U.S. and Canada. They're all NHL players.
25,
They're
yeah.
all great talents. And, like, Finland, I think, has some players who aren't in the NHL. One player.
Yeah.
But still, like, their top line center is Mikhail Granlund. And they don't even have Barkov.
And Finland's having their own controversy right now. I just read this morning that apparently the players petitioned to have Paul Maurice replace their head coach for this Olympics.
No way.
And they turned it down.
Noted Finn?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. That just came out. Sorry, just not to derail
I
you.
did not know
So the
that.
Finns have some of their own controversy and still were able to.
Still able to beat them.
I wonder then, that would make sense then. So again, like I said, I didn't pay attention to Sweden, but like if that's why Matthias Ekholm was trending Canada-wide that day.
Yeah, because but he might have gone and not even played, which I just think is like, look, I know they play like more players in Europe and all this stuff, but like, come on, it's Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He's the Toronto Maple Leafs' best defenseman
Against Italy.
and you could barely beat them. And I think they even got an empty net, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. So just nuts from there. But the 3rd team, I think, is very much up for grabs.
Who's your early horse?
I mean, you're probably still looking at Finland, but I don't think Germany's they're no pushover. If they can get a bit of a lucky draw and make their way to they can make their way to a medal.
Maybe a little heater by Grubauer.
Maybe, and I mean, he's one of the top goalies in the league this year. I mean, Slovakia, this goalie, we had Stephen Ellis on the show today. I forget his name. Not Stevens, the goalie. And he said, he's like, this guy kind of shows up to the World Championships and does really well. And he also had better numbers than Jesper Wallstedt in the Iowa Wild's American League team last year.
Oh.
Which says, and that's the other thing, Wallstedt has not seen the ice for Sweden either, and he's easily their best goalie.
By the way, you mentioned our boy Stephen Ellis. He is our prospect analyst over at Daily Faceoff. If you aren't following him on X/Twitter, where he is redrawing all of the goals because we don't have the IOC rights, go follow him. They're unbelievably funny.
He does it for the World Juniors Tour, and it's awesome.
It's one of my favorite bits that he does, and they're very entertaining. And by the way, he's just really good at what he does.
Mm-hmm. I've been with him when he's drawn them before, and it's just funny to watch him do it because he just pulls out his little iPad, gets some paint, and just sketches out, and it's just first try every time.
What do you do?
As you can probably tell by the drawings.
Arguably, yep.
Listen,
But
that's art.
Yeah, it is beautiful stuff. I just think too, when you get to the Olympics, just on the third place team, like there's such a national pride
100%.
play for these nations. Like Switzerland's no pushover team. They have a legit roster. Like their top unit's pretty good. Obviously, Roman Yossi, they're playing pretty well against Canada right now. Slovakia, like I said, Germany, Finland. I just think Sweden's come here and it felt like their coach maybe felt like they deserved more, but they haven't done anything to prove that yet.
Mm-hmm. It's so weird.
It is weird. It's a big arrogance. I don't get it.
Are there any Swedish? There has to be, I would think, like Swedish head coaches or assistant coaches in the NHL that actually understands how to use these guys.
Isn't I think Chicago had a Swedish head coach last season.
Because like all I'm thinking of, and again, I don't know nothing about nothing. But if this is an international coach and he's dealing with a bunch of NHLers that are used to think like it just might not be a tactical fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is like
John Cooper, we're watching Canada right now. John Cooper, say what you will about selections or whatever. He knows how to run an NHL bench.
Mm-hmm. And he had a quote today. He's like, trust your stars and they'll get it done.
Yeah.
Chris Knobloch arguably trusts his stars too much. But Cooper's doing
put everything on the stars.
Don't trust anybody else but the stars.
Yes.
Edmonton Oilers.
Chicago did have a Swedish head coach last season.
Luke Richardson now, though, right?
No, that was the one before. Right now it's Jeff Blashill.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. The U.S. looks pretty good yesterday, too.
But that is the cool thing about the Olympic tournament is that once we get out of this group play, it is anybody's game. If Sweden has a bad game against Denmark or some lower team, then they're gone, and then it is just all bets are off.
If Sweden loses to Slovakia tomorrow, I think it is, they'll be third in their group.
Yep.
And that's the other thing too about a single elimination tournament like this is if a goalie gets hot, we've seen a goalie steal games in international play plenty of times.
Basically every time Canada plays Latvia. It just feels like the goalie is just...
I actually was feeling trap game today just because Switzerland always seems to have a goalie stand on their head all the time.
Right.
Yeah. But no, what was that guy's name I said before?
Schmid?
Reto Berra.
Oh, Rito Berra.
Rito Berra. Not here this year.
Nah.
But the Swiss back-to-back silver medalist at the World Championships, which for Canadians is irrelevant, but...
How funny is this picture?
He looks so happy.
So if you're listening to this, I'm just cruising for anything that we could actually talk about that's actually Oilers related. And on the subreddit, there's a picture of Connor posing with a fan, and he looks thrilled about it.
Just happy to be there. Connor McDavid.
I think that if you get to experience Connor on a daily basis like we do, that's just his default setting.
Yeah.
There's nothing weird about this at all. It's just funny when somebody will see a picture like that and be like, oh, he's miserable. It's like, well, no, he's not.
Dialed in.
That's just how he is. That's his go-to. Other thing from yesterday, Connor throwing the body against Czechia.
Today, too.
He also got crushed today.
Yeah, he did. Right after I tweeted out, we're in the Connor McDavid power forward era.
It's your fault. Your fault. Leon Draisaitl, I thought amazing to see him. I like seeing our guys live out some childhood dreams. You know, core memories unlocked for those boys.
I know. This is what I went back to when people are like, I don't care if they don't go, like they need the rest. They do not care about the rest. They want to play in this event more than anything. We've mentioned it a few times already. Like, so many guys have missed out on opportunities to play in this tournament in Milan, and I think it's important they get to go there. Like, even yesterday, like when I was watching the US versus Latvia, Uvis Beliskas is like Latvia's top defenseman. If you don't know who that is, that's because he's Florida's like 8th best defenseman. But he's great for Latvia. He's a top player. And he has to go there and do this. And I think that's why like I wanted to see more Oilers at this event. Because again, it's a national pride thing. You get to go and represent. And like, sure, the Oilers didn't have a Latvian on their team they could have sent. But like,
we had David Tomasek.
Yeah, we had Tomasek. Like, it would have been cool if like Kapanen would have been able to stay healthy and crack the Finnish roster.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's like, it's very important, and we should support these players in that regard, not just be like, yes, the rest.
The
I don't like it.
other thing I always love about international tournaments like this is we're obviously in Edmonton. We're in Canada. We say things the way we do. But like when the players actually pronounce their names correctly.
Yeah.
Like Leon Draisaitl.
Leon Draisaitl.
Oh, Draisaitl.
Leon Draisaitl.
Oh, boy. It's like the Gabriel Landeskog one yesterday, too. It's like, oh, I did not know you said that. But what irks me about that a little bit is like, if it's said a certain way, like Draisaitl is clearly said with like a German accent, but like a lot of these Swedish guys, their names are just different.
Yes.
Like Broberry.
Just tell us your name is whatever it is. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to just live with it because the English Canadian speaking people, American speaking, just like say it.
It's just like Jack when he says Bushnevish.
Exactly.
He really leans into it.
Just ask him. Just be like, hey, this is how you say my name.
This is my favorite shtick from hockey players, like where the guy's name's is out of my head. Suter, Ryan Suter.
Ryan Suter
was Ryan Sutter for the first like 10 years of his career, and then he just changed it. He told us it was not pronounced correctly the whole time.
You have to rebrand.
I just don't get it. Just it's on the teams as well when they send out the pronunciations of each player.
Yes.
It's like, this is how you say this guy's name. Say it correctly. It's fine. I will say Broberg's name. However, how do you want it to be?
It's Broberry.
Broberry. I never knew that because he never said anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Berg in Swedish is apparently pronounced Berry.
Great. Well, I think that's a way better name.
And just like, I don't know.
Philippe Broberry.
It speaks to the relationship between people. Like, how does Broberry not go up to one of the broadcasters within the team and say, yeah, like, did you know?
Broberry.
Yeah, and that's the end of it.
And then he would be like, oh, my bad. I wrote it as the letters are spelled.
I guarantee you that's how the interaction would go, and it would be fixed.
Yep.
But I don't think it actually matters that much to them, to be honest.
By the way,
Maybe not.
They're showing some pictures right now on TV. They had Sid when he was still with Rimouski.
Right, yes.
It's wild. It's wild. Like, I put up a meme the other day of, it was the Homer one. Young Homer watching TV, old Homer watching TV, and I did Sid in 2010 and Sid now. It blows my mind that time just keeps moving on. It's a cruel mistress sometimes, isn't it?
I saw a tweet just before we got on here. Someone said it's crazy to think that the last time Sidney Crosby didn't have a C on his chest was the gold medal game in 2010. Since then, every single team he's been on, he's been the captain.
I also really like how other players just their reverence for him.
Yeah.
Like when they asked Connor, and this was for Four Nations, but I remember them asking Connor, like, what do you think about Crosby getting the captain? And he goes, yeah, of course. Of course he should have it.
Yeah. Who else should it be?
I just think that their reverence for Sid is really interesting because, you know, I remember him in 2010 and he was a young kid. And I remember Sid the kid drafted out of Rimouski. And now he's like this elder statesman that everybody on that team loves.
Well, it's almost a complete opposite as well on like the U.S. Like Austin Matthews is a captain. But then you ask like who else should it be? And there's not really another answer. There's like a bunch of different answers. Like when it comes to Canada, it's no surprise.
There's one answer.
It shouldn't be a surprise. Even the assistant captains, like no one really cares that much because, you know, Sid's going to lead the way. And like even the other day, he was asked about them taking the train after they were at the speed skating. He's like, yeah, we took public transport. Like, why is this a headline? And he's just like, imagine that guy in your room just being like, yeah, but we'll just take the train. And then you just follow him. There's like, you don't question his leadership at all.
Crosby's such a unique case to me just because, like went from generational talent as a kid and this highly touted prospect coming out of the Maritimes. And I was there and watching his progression. I was a Mooseheads fan and camped out for his last 2 games in the QMJHL against the Mooseheads.
Who did the Mooseheads have at the time? Anyone?
That would have been it's like Jacob Verana, I think, was probably the most famous player. He ended up playing with the Devils for like 20 games.
Right.
I'm trying to think of the goalie who was back then. But yeah, no, it's not a lot of names there, but just it was a good solid team. And then Rimouski was Crosby, Antoine Roussel, and
Pouliot.
Yeah, Marc-Antoine Pouliot.
Pouliot, yeah.
As their top line.
The woman.
And they were unreal. But Crosby, from that time until about 2010, was known around the league as you either loved him, you hated him.
Well, he had that whiner
and he was the crybaby. Yeah. And it was as if 2010, I think, was the moment for a lot of people. It was for me, where I switched from being a Crosby hater to a Crosby detractor, I guess, to a Crosby just fan of the way that he does things and what he's done within the city of Pittsburgh. It's so rare nowadays to have a guy stick with the franchise all the way through. It's so cool to see. And then, for Canadian hockey fans, he's done the full arc.
If I had a wish for the Olympics, and it kind of goes to what Liam said about Crosby being like, yeah, we took the train. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My wish for the tournament would be that Connor straps himself to Sid the entire time.
Yes.
Not just the hockey stuff Connor figures out, but like some of the life stuff, I bet letting it roll off your back, I'll take public transit. Or the thing that I joked about the other day when we were talking about that social video Team Canada put it out where it's like, which of your teammates will have the most PIMs? And Connor's like, oh, that's not a positive question. And the quick cut to Crosby goes, oh, Tom Wilson, easy.
He just doesn't really care, but not in like a negative way. Like he just doesn't
he lets it go.
He just has a human side. Not that McDavid doesn't, although he did label himself a robot the other day. But like, he just kind of is like, yeah, I think this is the answer and he's fine. I
would love Connor to strap himself to Sid and see like, you can be that guy, but you can still be yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that, and that's probably come with age with Sid a little bit because like now he's older and he just kind of like says what he wants to say. He was a lot more media trained earlier in his career, but man, that might be valuable for Connor. Just like spend some time with him. He's a guy who's, like Dan said, won literally everything there is to win. So
here's a really random stat. From when Sidney Crosby was playing with Rimouski, which was 2003 to 2005, he is the only player in the top 100, and it looks like the top 200 or 300 as well, from that league that is still playing in the NHL. Which I know, like, is what it is. It's a Q.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that he's, like, still dominant, still the captain of Canada.
That's Peter Verana.
And he's literally been, like, forever just the greatest Canadian player.
Yeah, it is shocking.
Chris Letang snuck in there at 110th.
There you go.
Speaking of Chris Letang, I bumped into Sebastian Bastalion the other day. His son was playing. His son plays in St. Albert, and I
get him back on the pod.
I was talking to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he remember this at all? Like,
I never asked him about this. We know each other from Sherwood Park. So, yeah, it was just kind of funny.
Because you weren't on the podcast yet when we interviewed him. So, if I remember correctly, we had talked about, we're going to get Sebastian Bastalion on, and we were going to talk to him about that, the crazy emergency recall where he went from junior to the NHL.
Yeah.
And then we ended up talking to him, if I remember right, for like an hour because his stories were so good. He was playing in Europe at that point. He was telling us about bopping around all different leagues. Sebastian Bastalion, friend of the show, even if he doesn't remember.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm just checking. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right. Every year he was on the team with Chris Letang. He outscored Chris Letang.
Wild.
In junior. Insane stuff.
Wild.
That's funny. I think, did he just didn't work out? Did he get injured? I don't remember.
I just don't think it worked out.
Okay.
But that's also so many years ago. Like, that's one of those memories I've suppressed.
That would have been around our time of not having farm teams as well.
Yeah, that's probably right.
I think he would have been one of the ones that we
We were
shipped
talking
off
about
to.
that in the office the other day. I don't remember who was talking with us, Dan, but like how nuts it was that the Oilers went years without having an AHL team.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah,
Toronto
he
Roadrunners and then the Edmonton Roadrunners.
played for Springfield.
There you go. That was a part of the arrangement. That was one of the agreements we had.
Hamilton for a couple of games, and then just went to France, I guess.
And then it was like, I remember too, I want to say it was John Durand-Delorier, JDD, where they had to like find teams for him to play with, and he'd be like the third stringer.
That's
on
the thing.
Because
Yeah.
they were like, why would we play your guy?
Exactly. Yeah, we'll have him on our team. We're not going to start him nor back him up, but
there
we'll
almost
have
needs to
him.
be more American League teams now.
Almost.
I think I'm assuming it's 32, but there almost.
I think it's
needs to be
33.
Is it 33?
Because the Chicago Wolves operate separately of any franchise.
Really?
Although now that I say that out loud, I think Carolina just signed an agreement with them. But the Chicago Wolves have been a franchise that have gone between being an affiliate and just on their own signing free agents.
I was going to say, because then you go into, like, we have an example in Edmonton of Connor Unger. I know it was the ECHL, but like he just floats around 3 different teams in like the space of a month because there's nowhere for him to
Jordan
play.
Binnington 2018, if you listen to the comments,
What do you mean?
he's going to come up and win us the
Yes.
Stanley Cup.
Oh, I thought
Yes.
you meant like Binnington played. No, that's a different.
He is our
different
Binnington.
teams. There is 8, 7, 7. So that's 14 plus 8. Then that's
14 plus 8 is 22.
plus 10.
32. Oh, I was wrong.
32.
Who doesn't have an affiliate right now?
I don't know, but
Unless
like,
Chicago
the
would
point
have.
I was trying to make was like have a couple more. Say you have 34, and then 2 of them are just like lone teams.
Yeah.
So the guys can actually play.
Yeah, so you can play it. It's just these guys bounce around the East Coast League.
I found this on Reddit. I thought this was funny just because of our friend Leon and his love of face-offs. The Olympic rule on face-offs is pretty funny. Centers won't get kicked out of face-offs. Instead, violations are handled the same way as after an icing. And if a team commits a second violation on the same draw, it results in a bench minor. Around the net, referees may stop the play if an attacking player establishes position in the goal crease. If that happens, the face-off comes all the way back to the neutral zone.
So I had a question about what does that mean for the same rules as icing? They can't change their players.
Yeah,
And they have to have face off that they already were having.
the same.
But that's so dumb.
Yeah, there is really weird rules in IIHF. I don't get them.
I was trying to bring up the fighting one.
I'm even surprised at the amount of physicality that has been
It's
allowed.
been
in
awesome.
this. It's been good, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the U.S. had a goal waved off yesterday for goalie interference, which the IIHF rules are like if you're in the blue paint, it's a no goal.
That's why Hyman's not there.
But if you looked at the and here we go again, a bit of a scrap now. Actually, Tom Wilson.
Yeah, they moved Tom Wilson off McDavid's line.
Yeah, I thought they had
He's with Suzuki now.
the Swiss goal in here. Like the play is clearly in the blue paint and does make some contact, but there was no review. So I don't get it. But Connor Hellebuck had the comment yesterday. He's like the rule changes every year in the NHL anyway, so I don't know what the rule is. But reports out of
Which is pretty awesome considering that's one of the best goalies in the league.
the current MVP of the league.
I don't know.
Yeah. Reports out of Italy from Frank Saravalli. Canadian bench is irate as fans are throwing beer cups onto the ice here in Milan.
Come on, Italy, figure it out. You know?
Very interesting.
Meanwhile, in the curling venue, the curlers are asking them to stop putting "Quiet Please" up on the billboards. They want the crowd to be
nice.
raucous. Yeah.
I
What
saw
teams? Did you see what Brad Jacobs did today?
No.
So Jacobs played Canadian team, that is, by the way.
Yes.
They played the U.S. And the U.S., they did this too against Gallant and Jocelyn Peterson in the mixed doubles, where they celebrated before the end was over. And I just hate that so much. And the U.S. did it against Jacobs. They over-celebrated. And Jacobs said it showed a lack of maturity and it motivated me more to knock out that rock. And he came in, just whacked it out, double. And Canada, I think they ended up winning, whatever the score
And then he
was.
dropped a nice F-bomb as well.
Jacobs did?
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, you can hear him go, "Fuck yeah," or
Oh,
"fucking
nice.
right," or something like that.
Good. But I agree. Curling's a professional game.
Yes.
Should not be celebrating like that.
I saw a video this morning. I shared it on my Instagram story because I thought it was so funny. It was the 1972 Olympics, and Canada and USA are playing in curling.
Oh.
All of them had darts in their mouths.
I love the ones when it's like top 100 curling shots of all time, and they literally have brooms. Like just
Yeah, the floppy ones.
yeah.
So
It's
they
like,
all
how
had the
did that
floppy
work?
ones with the dart in their mouth, and I'm like, that's curling.
There's actually curling controversy happening as we are
Really?
recording this.
What
Yeah,
going on?
A hand of God situation where the Swedish
no.
broadcast has caught Brett Gallant touching a rock past the hog line, and it's like all over the curling subreddit is just nonstop violations of the rock that they believe.
Did it get called in
Go to
play?
the video there.
That's the video of it. He's definitely touching the rock as it crosses the green hog line.
So for the
Sorry,
for the uneducated, like
Uninitiated,
myself,
yep.
what is this rule we're violating?
So the hog line is there to provide you with a line that you can only manipulate the rock up until,
It's almost like the neutral zone.
and then and then you have to release it because then it's between the rock and the ice and the sweepers.
And usually,
so
as
the hog line is where the serve guy
you let
is.
gets let go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And usually
The
there
rocks
will
have.
be a sensor, I guess.
Yep,
But
handles.
it's based off when you're holding the handle.
Yes.
Is when it would go off. So he is not holding the handle in this.
He touches
almost
the-
like pokes it.
Oh, the stone itself.
Yeah.
He pushes the rock at the very end with his finger,
And it didn't
interesting.
get caught on.
which is
I'd be curious how that shot went.
it looks like no official caught it, and the Canadians didn't say anything about it, which is part of curling. There is like
The gentleman's agreement.
the gentleman's agreement that you will catch yourself. So they shouldn't need those sensors. They shouldn't need any of those things because you're supposed to catch
It
it.
looks like he touched it so faintly, he might not have actually known he touched
Yeah,
it in a way.
possibly.
I did see a curling video the other day of a guy, it was an Italian guy, who had a shot that he was going to throw through the rock, accidentally knocked out 3 of the other team's rocks, and apologized to everyone who was playing. He's like, I didn't mean to do that, my bad. But he had just like eliminated 3 rocks on a perfect shot, but didn't mean to do it. But like, it's like an unwritten rule that you apologize for an accidental shot, I guess.
No matter how good it is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And, like, still
I did not
counted.
know this.
Yeah.
Manners.
Okay.
Curling
Gentleman's
has
game.
It
curling
really
has a
is.
lot of decorum to it.
Okay.
It's like cricket
Yeah.
In what way?
in the sense of like, there's rules, but there's like so many unwritten rules that you have to
It's like respecting the game.
respect
kind
the
of thing.
game. Yeah.
Speaking like
Rugby and stuff like that. Yeah.
Jacobs will get fined for swearing on the broadcast.
How much?
The Canadian Curling Association has like a set group of fines. I was there
Which
for
is
the
hilarious because they
Briar.
don't pay them.
They owe
They're not professional athletes.
no, but I think it has something to do with the CRTC as well. So they do have to
That's
pay
why
them.
I hear the Weekend on the radio all
Yeah,
the time. I'm not-
Johnny Morris was famous for that one at the Briar that I was an official at. He put his broom through like the middle decks in between the sheets of ice, and then he cursed on TV, and they slapped him with a huge fine. And then later on in the event, he did it again and got him slapped with another fine.
That's a larger societal issue. Like, when are we going to stop caring about that kind of language? You know what I mean? Like, as if kids aren't saying fuck all on their own. Anyway, that is a different point for a different podcast and a different day. Go follow me at baggedmilkpolitics.com. Don't tell Jay. I got a couple of questions here for Ask the Idiots, fellas. Olympic related, of course. Nice. I want to tell you about our friends at Swiss Donair. It's a Friday afternoon. You're busy playing hooky right now, aren't you? You're watching Canada and Switzerland. They're doing their thing. You're going to be hungry when it's over.
Sorry. You go ahead.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say it was Kennedy who touched the rock, not Gallant.
sorry.
Not to throw.
I apologize.
Don't want to put the wrong name on it.
Why?
wouldn't wanna-
We are also self-policing here.
Yeah.
I saw Gallant. That's on me.
Sweden called them out in the game, and Canada said no.
And they were like, Bork, Bork. And Canada's like, what?
Yes.
Canada won the game, by the way.
That's Sweden is now 0-3 in the men's curling, and they just won the world championships.
So question, like, could this result be contested then?
Nope. No, it is only in the moment during that play, and frankly, Kennedy should have said something.
Well, it looks like he's really arguing the point,
Yeah.
and we've had Kennedy on our shows before. I don't know if he knew. Like, I don't know. Like, he touches it so faintly, like, and he doesn't extend on it. Like,
But
he
here's-
literally just like takes his hand off. Like, I don't know. Maybe he did. It's
And this
hard
is
to
where we
say.
get in. This is where we get into the curling element of the podcast.
Yeah.
I do think that there's like just an element of like where if your opponent is that upset about it. Like, obviously they believe that you did it, and like they're standing right there. You can see that the legs of the Swedes, the sweepers, are both standing right next to it. So like they had a good vantage point too. But yeah, I don't know.
If this went normally, like, what would happen? Would that rock just be disallowed?
You would just disallow the rock.
Technically, like, he should have said something as soon as he saw it. The sweepers would have just burned the rock and pushed it off the ice, so it didn't affect anything. Technically, yes. Even if you do let the whole thing play out, you like there's the ability. Obviously, it's because it's televised, so they can go back and look at it. But like, you would just place the rocks back in the spots that they were, kind of thing. If it hit another rock.
Canada 3-0, Sweden 0-3. I would say cheat more, Sweden.
Sounds like sounds like poor losers.
Yeah,
yes.
Get better at cheating.
Swiss Donair is home for the old school Donair with options if you want some flair. Open for 25 years now, 7 days a week. Pride of the North Side. Swiss Donair is great for your events at home or the office. Check out their location at 8308 144th Ave Northwest. Or order online at SwissDonair.com. Just doing a slight reshuffle here. Normally we do the betting segment now, but we'll just get Ask the Idiots out of the way, and then I want to know what Liam's got cooking over there for our friends at Bet365.
Okay.
This one comes in from Casey. Dan, let's take hockey aside for a minute. What Olympic sport of any type has blown your mind through week one?
I actually really enjoyed and I do typically enjoy quite a bit of the Olympics, but I've really enjoyed the speed skating. There was one cool moment on, I think it was like day 1 or day 2, where typically in speed skating, the Netherlands are the favorite and the Canadians we do mix in. But the Italian ended up skating in a pairing with the Canadian, and she skated the skate of her life and ended up winning the heat. And I mean, with speed skating, and when you're in a pairing, you do tend to kind of like skate with your opponent. So the Canadian was behind her and ended up in the bronze position. I think that there's like so many cool moments within the Olympics. But speed skating is an exciting one, and I will always tell everybody to watch curling in the Olympics.
Yeah, curling is good. Lots of cheaters in curling too.
Lots of cheaters. That's what I heard. Liam, any of the sports blow your mind?
I watched double luge yesterday.
Absolutely blows my mind.
I just don't really understand
Who's steering?
What does the person on the bottom do?
Does the person on the person on the bottom, are they steering? And because they can't see.
And also, are they laying just direct? Are they being laid directly on top of it? Is there like a little bit of a gap between them? I don't know. I don't know a lot about it. I think it's very funny.
I've heard 2 things, and I'm just going to plant them out there, and you guys can do with it what you want. The sport is actually not limited to gender. Yeah. And there's just never been a pairing that hasn't been all male.
Well, no, this year is the first time they did the women's.
Yeah, I saw.
But now they have I know, but previous to that, they could have had.
I see.
Mixed double.
Yes.
Before it was just like there wasn't a men's.
It wasn't limited. Exactly. It was just double luge, and it always was chosen to be 2 men. Do with that what you will.
I don't know. I just don't know how it works.
I also don't know how it works. I was watching it the other day, and I'm like, all I can think about is who's fucking steering the toboggan.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, and like. When you hit the walls, you hit them hard.
Oh, yeah.
And it shows how fast they're going to like hit him 130. Nuts. Double
also,
crazy.
I was watching that, and I'm like, why not double skeleton?
That would be bonkers. Like, the skeleton alone is the craziest
2 spinal injuries at once.
What's the difference? Let's stack them up more than 2.
Triple luge.
Bobsled without the bobsled. Let's just do it.
Just slide.
4-man bobsled.
I love bobsled too.
Good. Yeah.
It's a good time.
There's so many that blow my mind in the Olympics because, like, you're obviously watching athletes perform at the highest level in their chosen discipline. So the one I said on low tide the other day, because he just asked me, he goes, just pretend you're like, you look at one and you go, you could never do it. And the one I said there, and I think I said this last week too, was I was watching the 10-kilometer cross-country ski marathon. They had probably like a 50-degree grade hill at corner 1. I would have been dead at corner 1. And meanwhile, this Norwegian guy is chugging up the hill like full speed somehow. I don't understand it. Women's big air, I've watched. I don't think the men's has happened yet, but women's big air was electric on snowboarding. Moguls, I love. My knees, I could feel them crumble to dust anytime I watch moguls. I know a lot of people are complaining about the drone sound on the broadcast, but some of the footage is coming out of those drones is unbelievable.
I would just say, don't worry about it. the drone sound. I mean, you can hear it, but like then it turns around, and you're like, oh, this is sick.
That's what I mean.
Want
Like
the drone there.
I was watching the women's big air snowboarding, and again, these ladies are flying 20 feet in the air, and they had drones like flying underneath them as they're it was amazing footage.
I had a weird thought during the Olympics because I mean, like when you think of the sheer production behind these Olympics, the camera, like there's a lot of camera people needed.
100%.
There's no way that they can all be the best camera people at what they're doing. So like for an example, at the big air event, where are you putting the low caliber camera
You got to
people?
be at the guy at the finish line,
right?
They come down and they
like
stop.
versus the ones that are underneath the jump, having to track the person through the air. Like that's not easy.
No, more on the curling.
Please,
a
let's
rule
go.
has come out.
Of course.
Apparently, so there's 2 quotes I have. Curling is generally considered a gentleman's game, which is why it's surprising to hear cheating allegations and explicits being tossed around on Friday's game between Canada and Sweden. That's quote 1. The official rule, touched moving stones. Bear with me. If a moving stone is touched or is caused to be touched by the team to which it belongs to or by equipment, the touchstone is removed from play immediately by that team.
Okay.
However, a double touch by the person delivering the stone prior to the hog line at the delivering end is not considered a violation.
So were we pre or post hog line?
We were on. Where the touch
Tie go to the runner?
The touch happened prior to the hog line. So I don't know if the ruling is technically the whole rock has to be over the hog line, but the whole rock was not over. So I would say to Sweden, read the rule book.
Tie goes to the runner.
I think that
It goes to the runner. Yeah.
I don't necessarily, I'm not upset at Sweden for being upset at it, but I do think that like, again, and it's the, you know, like, I guess it's like the lose honorably or lose or win dishonorably, but like there's a certain element of that like gentleman's agreement that you just have to accept that and move on.
I think if Kennedy would have known he double touched it, I think he would have called it out.
You know him better than me personally, and so I would hope to like agree with you. But I do think that there's an element of if he didn't want to do it, he doesn't have to do it, and you just have to
like
accept
as
that.
a devil's advocate in the situation. Maybe he just knows the rule that he didn't violate it.
Maybe he did. Yeah, that's also fair. Which he didn't violate.
Learn the rules.
Yeah. I'm assuming the next question's on curling.
I'm going to throw this one actually over to our boy Tristan here. Which Olympic sport outside of hockey is blowing your mind these days?
I don't know if there's one specific sport, but the storylines out of just the Olympics this year, the Winter Games, are just insane. We've got the Norwegian cheating scandal, and then he goes back and wins another medal. You've got them running out of condoms. Hilarious. It's really hard. Like picking one event, I really enjoyed the female half-pipe snowboard.
Yep.
I thought that was really fun to watch.
Super cool.
But like, I'm just loving the storylines.
Yeah, if anyone knows where I can find some hyaluronic acid, no, I'm not going to tell you why I need it. Just let me know. Slide on into my DMs. I got an idea. By the way, it must be intermission, I guess, right now.
Yeah, 3-1 Canada.
Figure skating is another one. I mean, it's not a new sport. We see this often in Canada, but this is another sport that blows my mind. Just the edge work is really, really fascinating. And it's almost kind of more interesting that, like, when you think about a hockey player, that doing some figure skating lessons or something isn't part of the journey because of how much good it does for your edge work.
There was huge controversy in the curling too. Did you see that the other day?
More controversy?
In the doubles. Everyone kind of felt like the US should have won. Even on the broadcast, they were like, "That was clearly the best of it
for figure skating
performance." Yeah.
Okay.
And the French won, and they got put over the line because the French judge was the one who voted for them to get it over.
Fucking never stop doing that, France.
Is
Please.
So funny.
French judges and their messing up of things is the best.
Yeah. Also, the shot that Kennedy had, I just watched it. Took out 2 rocks. Huge shots. Changed the game. Canada won by 1.
Hey, he knew the rule.
Yeah, he's got
Up
it.
for the hog line. Run, Tagos.
Also, oldest Olympic athlete is Mark Kennedy at 44 for Canada.
Yeah, that is cool.
As somebody who's on the doorstep of 41, he's a young man.
Yeah, very young.
Gives
Very
you hope
young
for the
man.
next Olympics.
No
Baggedmilk.
handshakes either at the end of the...
Oh,
no,
come on. Now we need.
There was. Sorry, there was. I missed.
Okay. I was going to say, listen, you're mad, but like, let's not throw away all decorum.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Curling handshakes are sacred.
Words exchanged, so.
Liam, question number 2. This one comes in from Devon.
Devon of the Yukon.
How concerned are you about the ladies' side for Team Canada and the hockey, given how poorly they played against the U.S. in that first game?
I mean, I'll preface it by saying I don't watch women's hockey often enough to really judge who should not be on the team and who should be on the team. But I think just in the comparison of what I saw in that U.S.-Canada game, Canada just looked significantly slower and had much less skill. Granted, they were missing their best player as well. But he's still, how much of a difference would Poulin have really made? Mm-hmm. I'm concerned, but also I think if you've paid attention to women's hockey, this has kind of been a problem for a few years now. Mm-hmm. I think they were outscored in the rivalry series, like including this game.
Like 28-7.
Yeah, I think it was lower. I think it was 4. I think Canada had 4 goals.
Yeah, I think that if you're like the women's game has been trending this way for a while where everybody's catching up to Canada. We've just seen this movie before with the men's game about 20 years ago. And it's a reality that I don't think necessarily requires like a massive overhaul of change. I just think that the U.S. is always going to have a huge talent pool to pull from. And the other piece that has been talked about quite a bit with this Olympics and this Canadian team is the age of the women's team. They're carrying an older team, and the youth movement has to come up in Canada still and continue to replace some of those top talented players that we've had. Like you think about the women's Olympic team, you think of Shannon Zabados, you think of Haley Wickenheiser, you think of Poulin, yeah. Like these are all aged out properties now and assets, and we have to retool and refill the cupboards again, restock the cupboards. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is still coming along. So,
To me, I'm not going to pretend I watch a whole lot, but I did watch the game, and what I saw was the Edmonton Oilers dressed as the ladies Team Canada Olympic team, and what I mean by that is mistakes egregious. Mm-hmm. Awful puck protection. The puck management was poor. They were losing puck battles on the boards. They were losing races to lose pucks. They didn't get the saves they needed at times when you would have liked one. So to me, I felt like I was watching an Oilers game in terms of the quality of mistakes they were giving up to a team in Team USA that you can't give those up to.
Yeah, I agree.
So to me, it was a very Oilers-y hockey game. So anything I would say that applies to the Oilers would probably apply to the ladies team. They got to clean a lot of those mistakes up. Mm-hmm. Question number 3. I'll go back to Dan. This one comes in from Dukes, so you know it's serious. You're at a dinner party, and right before the food is served, you find out that it was all prepared by Waz. What dish has you the most nervous?
anything bird related. The turkey,
the meat in general.
It's probably going to be raw.
Yeah. So the question was is making me a meal. What am I worried about?
Yep.
All of it.
Flavor, cook time,
the
temperature.
Meat is fair because even if it's not bird meat, it's probably undercooked.
It's probably going to be bird meat, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm most worried about? Not necessarily how he cooks the protein.
Did he wash his hands?
Well, I mean, okay, different problem. I hadn't considered
Absolutely sewering the guy.
He has pitched us, and I know he's talked to you about this too, Liam, that weird jelly dish that they eat.
Yeah, disgusting. It has chicken legs or something.
It's got chicken in a gelatin mold.
Sounds delightful.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that showing up on the table, and I'm one of those people that I'm very polite. If you put something in front of me, I'll eat it. I don't care if I don't like it. I will just eat it. I'm concerned about the jelly thing coming up.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like a trifle.
I want to know what it's called. Meat, jelly, Polish food.
Yeah.
It is called pork aspic. So that's actually pork in there. Mm. Yeah, it is a rich history, culinary tradition that spans centuries. Well, we can retire that one. A meat jelly, savory gelatin made with meat stock and broth set in a mold.
Some of the best traditions do end. They have an end date. They just, I'm just saying.
You put an expiry date on your food for a reason.
You just, yeah.
Some ideas are they're lost. There you go. Ask the idiots. just slide on into my DMs, ask any question you like. As you can see, they have to be very, very serious. You know what I mean? Let's talk a little betting. Let's see what the boys are doing. For our friends at Bet365, whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use the code NATION at Bet365. Must be 19 years old or older. Currently, as we're doing this today, we are in the intermission. The line for Canada, Switzerland, if you want to get in on some live betting, Liam, the spread has moved to -3.5.
I have it at 2.5 currently.
What'd you get it at?
-162.
It is +110 now for -3.5. Total is 6.5. It is currently 3-1. Got some work to do there. Money line is -20,000.
Are you in
Canada,
on that?
for Canada? Oh, I mean, I put a couple of shekels in. I'm looking forward to my hay penny that comes back in return. What else did you have for today for the game?
I had a parlay that was McDavid and McKinnon both get 2+ points. That one hit already. McDavid just 2 points. I have McCaw to get 2 points. I think he has one already. He's +160. And then I have the puck line. Yesterday I had Draisaitl to get 2+ points. He did that. And then I had Brady Tkachuk to get a goal as well. And I also took
And he did that as well, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And then last night, tough evening for me as I was watching the T20 World Cup in India and Sri Lanka. Huge upset, Dan. You probably saw.
I didn't.
Zimbabwe beat Australia in cricket yesterday.
Really?
Which is gigantic.
Well, like having lived in Australia a year,
Huge.
Cricket is everything.
Yes. So the final score was they bowled them out. 146 all out for the Aussies. Zimbabwe won by 23 runs.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Now I think
That's a demolition.
Yeah, it really was a crazy game.
How many day test was this?
This is 2020, so it's 20 overs.
Okay.
So it's a quick game. It takes about 4 or 5 hours to play,
Which is hilarious.
Canada also lost yesterday at the Cricket World Cup to the United Arab Emirates, lost by 5 wickets.
I remember I was waking up in Australia and I was staying with a very, very kind Australian family that took me in for a while. And I was hanging out with the dudes, their two boys, and one day they wake me up. They go, "All right, it's time for the cricket." I go, "I don't know what's going on, but I'm in." He goes, "We're going to have beers. That's really all that's going on." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Cool. How long does the game go?" He goes, 5 days. I'm like, pardon?
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Looking at some of the wrapping up Canada, Switzerland here. Anytime goal scorers I'm a little interested in. Nathan McKinnon +280. Still got 20 minutes. If it sticks 3-1, we're going to shoot for an empty netter. So that's why I'm thinking of anytime goals now. Mark Stone +500. Sid +500. Mitch Marner +500. Tom Wilson +600. I might dabble.
May as well.
I might dabble a little bit.
Ty did a live bet on McKinnon to get Canada's next goal yesterday, and it was when McKinnon then went to score on the power play.
That must have been juicy.
That was a good one. I think he said it
Wow.
was +600.
I love that. Just because we got to touch base on it, as we always do. Looking at the Stanley Cup odds, Oilers still 5th at +1,000. Avs still lead the way at +275. Then the Lightning at 450. Then the Hurricanes at +700. Then the Golden Knights at +900. Oilers at +1,000. The interesting one to me is that the Stars are +1,600 and the Wild are +1,800.
The Wild should be higher, a lot higher. They should probably be higher than Edmonton and Vegas. Dallas, I'm not convinced by. I never really am, though.
No, I agree with that. Another interesting one is just how much, since we started doing this beginning of the season, how much the Hart Trophy odds have changed. Nate's still leading as the favorite at -150, but that's changed significantly. Celebrini is up next at +225, and then Nikita Kucherov has launched himself into the top 3 at +600. Connor McDavid sits 4th at +1,000. If you want to get spicy, Leon Draisaitl +25,000.
This is the Hart Trophy?
Hart Trophy,
And
yeah.
what's McDavid now?
+1,000.
He was +200 to start the year. McKinnon was +450.
Wild.
Yeah. Kucherov was then 3rd at 8,000. Celebrini not in the top 10.
I mean, like, if he drags... I think about when Taylor Hall won the MVP in New Jersey. They don't make the playoffs unless he dragged them into it.
Agreed.
I could see it happening the same thing with Celebrini.
Yeah, totally agree.
So, keep your eyes out. Third period is going to be getting underway. Let me see if I can just find, like, a total for the third period. I'm sure he's got this.
Took 3.5. Canada minus 3.5 at
You did?
plus 110.
I like it.
I can't risk it. Zimbabwe screwed me too much last night.
I'm a little bit
That's a
nervous.
tough one. You're going to be wearing that one.
Yeah.
You're like that guy who can't cut his hair now.
I had to mute that word on Twitter. It was driving me nuts. Just
Whatever
like, don't
whatever
care
your
about
bet is never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use code NATION at Bet365. Must be 19 years old or older. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a guy, I think he's on TikTok, probably on
think so,
Instagram,
yeah.
where he said he would not cut his hair until Man U won 5 in a row.
Yeah, and they had the opportunity to do it the other day, and they tied the game.
And against a terrible team, if I...
Yeah, the team
Right.
was right at the bottom, and they tied 1-1.
So anyway, he looks like a clown. Go look that up on your own time.
And like people are being very harsh on him now, and the kid has done like nothing wrong. He's just growing his hair.
He's doing a bit.
Yeah, and people have just like turned on him. He's just like,
They're really mad at him for continuing to do the thing that if he stopped doing it, they would be
They'd be mad.
eviscerating him for.
I'll admit, like, if I was at that point with him, like where he is, like I'd quit. Like I
Well,
wouldn't be able to continue.
As people that have done stupid shticks for more
you get to
days
a
than when the
point.
company told me to stop doing it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't think beat casts were going to go on 5 years. So.
Yeah, eventually you get to a point where it's like, I'm just over this. You know?
Yeah.
And you just move on and people forget. And then eventually you pop up like, remember when this guy said he would do this and didn't?
But at the same point, as somebody who can commit to a bit for a long time, I respect it. Grow your hair out. You look ridiculous. Enjoy the summer.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do. Eventually you've got to find a way to like maintain it. I just don't know how you do it.
He doesn't take care of it.
No, he just lets it go like full caveman mode almost.
Yeah, it's horrible.
He looks like he's wearing one of those old judges' wigs from back in the day. You know?
They should make him still do that. They do in England, actually. The United Kingdom has that.
Let's wrap up the podcast. Hot and cold performers. We're going to finish up the Canada-Switzerland game here. But I want to know what's going on in the boys' lives. And this is presented by nobody. NationGear.ca. Go get some threads. Start off with our veggies as we always do. Nation Dan, you are up. Cold performer of the week.
Mine's just going to go to the IOC for their decision to kick out the Ukrainian athlete for wearing a helmet that depicts 20 Ukrainian athletes who were killed by the Russian war that is going on in their country right now. They said it was too political. I think remembering people isn't political.
Tristan's working on the bike.
Oh, that's cold.
Maybe it played, maybe it didn't.
Yeah, sounds good. Probably fine.
Probably fine.
He's a burr that's cold.
I agree with that
It was
one.
insane.
It's,
I
Yeah,
cannot
it's-
believe that.
It's
Not
just a
allowed.
dumb decision.
Yeah.
it's nuts.
Death isn't political.
Shouldn't be.
But nevertheless, we all agree.
If you can't be political in a moment like this, then why is a certain team not allowed to participate?
Nations.
Yeah, totally.
You're pitting nations against each other, but don't be political.
Liam Cole from the
My co-performer of the week, well, it has to go to the Australian cricket team. Absolute disaster.
This isn't what Ricky Ponting would have wanted.
No, it would not. Ricky would be pissed. Terrible performance against Zimbabwe. You underestimated your opponents, and I overestimated you.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh.
Burr.
Something wrong with the speed. I don't know why it's so complicated for us all to like not be able to hear sound. And it's nothing anyone does. It's just every single week it's something stupid. God.
There she goes.
Cold performer for me. Oh. Outside of the office, there's windrows on the road.
Yeah.
It's tighter than normal. The other day I go to my car and I see that my rear view mirror on my driver's side is backwards.
Oh no. That
So
sucks.
shout out to whoever hit my mirror. Thankfully it didn't break.
Yeah.
It's got one of those hinges on it, so it just turned.
Kind of tucked in.
Shout out to whoever hit my mirror. Not a note, not a word, nothing.
Was.
Probably was.
That's a joke. That's
Cold
an
performer of
absolute
the
joke,
week,
is
like-
what it is.
Nothing even broke, but you can still be considerate,
Yeah.
right?
Agreed.
Be considerate. Cold performer of the week. Reverse the order. Liam up. Hot performer of the week.
Mark Kennedy doing whatever it takes to win and bring gold home for Canada. I clicked on the one curling video watching it, and my whole feed is just like Swedish reporters being pissed, Canadian reporters being like, he actually didn't even break the rule, and like all this stuff. So I can't wait to read a little bit more about it. But Mark Kennedy for being A true Olympian.
Pour it on!
Not at all costs.
Whatever it takes.
I didn't even ask you, Tristan. What was your co-performer?
I didn't think about anything because I didn't think I was going to be asked. I don't really have one. My life has been pretty simple.
Wow,
this
bragger.
past week. I know.
Jeez.
I don't.
Unbelievable.
Sunshine and roses when you're an intern at OM.
I know it's
Must be
great.
nice.
I've got Olympic hockey. I got a great internship. I get to watch some of my other friends at their other internships complain. I got nothing to complain about.
There you go.
I hope they're all enjoying Prince Albert.
Well, then I'm going to put you on the spot. Hot performer, you're up.
Okay, hot performer.
The opposite of what I just said.
You know what? This might be. I'm going to go with our boy Reese, our boy Rooster. He has been so helpful in helping me just get acclimated and always just being helpful, helping me get stuff done, making sure everything's good. So shout out Reese. Reese has been amazing.
Give Reese a button, would you, Tristan? Our boy Rooster.
Cash money.
He's at Greta right now, I imagine.
Yeah.
Doing his thing. Nation Dan, you're up. Hot performer of the week.
Mine is not going to go out to the fighting rule from the Olympics, but it is going to go out to these referees and I guess it's the IOC, but for just allowing some physicality to happen in these Olympics. It's been fun to watch the guys throw around the body and watch people have to respond to some physicality, and being able to have McDavid set the tone. It's been awesome to watch.
They've done studies, 60% of the time it works.
For me, kind of lame,
time.
but hot performer of the
doesn't make
week is
sense.
just, I love the Olympics. Winter Olympics specifically. I love the Winter Games. I love the sports. I don't watch any of this stuff normally, but I'm hooked. It's on in my house 24/7. Love these games, even though I don't understand the sport. And even if I critique the athletes on things I have no rightly business critiquing them on because I don't even know how to play. I love the Winter Olympics.
The big guy is smoking hot.
A video exchange.
Okay.
Of Kennedy
We're not wrapping up until we get to the bottom of this.
and Eriksson. So I'll read it out.
Please.
Do you want to be the Swede or should I be the Swede?
I'll be the Swede.
Okay. This is you first.
Okay. Touching the rock.
Who's doing it?
You don't know.
Who?
It's a couple.
Who? I haven't done it once.
Okay.
Don't chirp.
I'll show you a video after the game.
How about you walk around my peel on the last end, dancing around the house here? How about that? Oh, come on, Oscar. Just fuck off.
I can show you the video.
I don't give a shit. That's it.
I felt like I was there.
It was actually quite. Kennedy was quite heated.
Well, to be fair, like to the
Fellas, that was
Swede here, to play some devil's advocate, the Swede, I really did embrace my role there.
He was very calm.
Kennedy deflected. He didn't really acknowledge the fact that he did do it,
don't
and
think he
instead
knew.
says, "Well, how about you danced around my rock in the house earlier in the game?
I love fuck off Oscar or whatever you said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I
It
can
wasn't-
show you the video.
There was no improv. That was all on script.
Man, I felt like I was there.
Yeah.
I can show you the video."
I mean, listen, fair listener, you won't be able to see the replay because of the IOC copyright rights. All you need to do is replay what just happened, explain it to your friends. Wow. Honorary hot performer for what I just
Where's
watched.
the quiet, please?
I guess this game's already on, but we got a game, Canada. Who do they play on Sunday morning?
France.
They're gonna
Score
beat
prediction,
them up.
real quick. We might as well do one. I'm going to go, if France, I'm going to go 12-1.
Wow.
I think it'll be a crazy high score. Oh, Canada scored. Goal!
Who do we got?
Sidney
Sid.
Crosby. Captain Canada.
Captain Sid.
Keep going.
Did you just bet that?
I did.
Oh, you bet that.
No way.
No, not that. I just have I have them at 3.5 over.
Oh, nice.
So
Very, very nice.
needed it. Thank you, Sweden or Sydney.
Canada, France, I'm going 12-1.
Yeah, I will go. I'll let you go like 8-0.
I'm gonna say 7-0.
Okay.
Tristan, throw in a score prediction for Canada, France.
Give me a 12-0.
There you go. There you have it. Another podcast in the books. Canada now up 4-1, and we're going to just stop this and watch this. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back on Tuesday.
Let's go.